Hello everybody, today is August 14th, 2024. I'm gonna go over 12 different names today, so let's get to it. This is not financial advice, this is just educational um, content, and I strongly suggest that if you are thinking of investing your money on stocks or anything, just make sure to do your own research and due diligence before you risk any of your capital. If you see any utility on this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's start with AMD. So today, I had a position with AMD, which I opened 2 days ago on Monday, and I got out today right in the beginning of the opening, and I will tell you why. If we go to the 1 minute chart, I saw this momentum, and when I woke up, I was like, well, my options are looking already good, or actually they were looking great. And then somewhere around this second candle right here, I was looking at this, the MACD and the TSI, and I was like thinking, this is gonna get a little bit weak, and it actually did. So on the second candle, I actually sold my call options, and I got out of this position, which I think, at least for today, was the right decision. However, I do believe that AMD still has momentum to continue going towards this resistance level at 150. Now, the fact that I got out is because the way I like to trade, and I trade in panic normally. And normally when my options are up 50% or in that area, I tend to sell regardless of what I see on the chart. So that way I ensure that, I'm obviously making money, and also I'm protecting my capital. However, I do believe that this setup still look good. And I'm going to explain what position I took today, actually, which maybe I should add to this list. I took a position today before, sorry, I'm writing down the ticker that I got today. Anyways, I'm still happy with what I did. I do believe that we are going to continue going towards 150. We are going to encounter the 200 EMA first, and there's definitely opportunity still. The setup right here on these indicators are telling me there is still opportunity to actually jump in. One thing that I like is that we have this red candle right here, which wasn't terrible. We were down only 0.27%. By the end of the day, there was momentum on NVIDIA, which is a good thing, actually. I'm sorry, not NVIDIA, AMD, which is a good thing because we had this nice move from basically 9:45 Pacific time all the way to close to 1 p.m., which was, I wouldn't say straight up, but it was a choppy way up. By the end of the last hour or the last 30 minutes of trading, it was actually there was quite a lot of momentum, I would say. And volume went up. So tomorrow we might have a pretty interesting day. I don't have a position on AMD. I do think that we are definitely going to continue going towards 150. I might actually jump in again tomorrow, but I also again got a different position towards the end of the day. So maybe because of that, I might not get onto AMD, but I do believe that there is definitely opportunity on AMD. I still like the chart, it's still looking great. And yeah, I think that by the end of the week or so, we might see ourselves close to the 150, 151 area. That's what I have for AMD. And now let's move on to Amazon. Sorry, I'm taking a little note right here. So Amazon is looking pretty interesting. I did sell my position again in the beginning of the day because I also saw weakness. I had some calls on Amazon as well that I actually bought yesterday. Once I saw this move, just like what I saw on AMD, I wanted out. So I got out on the second candle or the third candle. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, one of these two candles, I got out. And again, it was, I guess, a right call because we went all the way down to 169 and some change. And then the stock actually recovered continue going down, but it recover a little bit towards the end of the day. One thing that I like is that we are right on top of the 200 EMA. Let me go back to the 1 minute because I'm forgetting something. Somewhere in this area in the middle of the day, around 9:40 or something, I did buy some calls again. So I got out right here and then I decided to go back in again. And the reason why is because I really like this chart. I like the fact that it has momentum. It's not all green all the way up. I like the fact that we actually have a green candle right here. We were basically a red candle right here, and we're basically flat today. I really like that. We are mounting the 200 EMA. If we have a good day tomorrow, we're just gonna go towards 175 or 175 with ease, and we're already filling this gap, which I'm not going to change it until I see at least a move to this area, and then I will start changing this graph right here. But anyways, the MACD and the TSI is still looking great. The RSI is looking good. So momentum is just okay. I wish there was more volume, but I do believe that Amazon has a potential to go to 175, and then we can reassess at that area. My calls are for September 20th. So I still have some time to make decisions, but I would probably sell by the end of the week, depending how much of a move we see between tomorrow and Friday. But I think I would probably sell by Friday. Anyways, those options, if you care, are completely flat. I'm basically minus $5, and but I'm okay with that. You know, they're flat. But yeah, I do think we're gonna get to 175. So I got out in the beginning of the day. I got in the middle of the day when the price was a little bit lower, and it made more sense just to stay there with September 20th calls. The strike price is 175. So my price target is right here, and I think it's just going to continue going up. We'll see how this moves. I might keep these options if tomorrow or Friday we see a lot of more momentum and we see a continuation here. If I see this move looking healthy, I'm probably going to stay on Amazon for maybe a week or so, but at least my plan for today or for now is to sell by the end of the week. I can change my mind on that. Anyways, let's move on to BAC, which is Bank of America. And one thing that I like, I'm just mentioning Bank of America because then you can piggyback like Citi, you can piggyback Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and so other financial stocks. I think this sector is going to start moving up. I wasn't very enthusiastic about it on Monday, maybe tomorrow either. But seeing what I'm seeing today and what I've seen in other names like Citi and JP Morgan, if we go down to this guy, the move makes a lot of sense. I'm also going to cover XLF at the end of the video, and I really like the setups that I'm seeing here. I think I mentioned this before, I used to trade Bank of America before, and it wasn't that difficult in my opinion. I like the fact that it's very consistent on how it moves. I wouldn't be surprised and we actually are gonna hit 40, and as long as we break and mount the 35 SMA. But I think the move is gonna continue. The options are not that bad. Let's take a look at the price of the options, and if we go, I would buy maybe September 27th or October 18th. Let's do October 18th. Options are super cheap. The 40 strike price are 1.8. So, and the theta is not bad. Let me see what else. Yeah, delta is not bad at all. Yeah, delta is right where you want it. So, I might actually get into Bank of America later this week, maybe tomorrow or Friday. I like the setup. I like the MACD, the TSI, the RSI. All of it is looking good. I like the fact that you see a little bit of red on this move as well. And again, what I like about this type of names is that their moves are pretty consistent. Where if they are on the way up or on the way down, you see consistency on the moves. I think that getting to 40 won't be difficult. We want to break the 35 SMA. We are going to encounter that area around 39, which is not that far from where we are. Actually, 40 is not that far from where we are. And then we have this lack of liquidity on this area after we pass 40 that might make things interesting. So Bank of America, just keep it on your short list, which that's what I'm doing. Anyways, let's move on to CAVA. Interesting name. I think I mentioned this a couple of days ago. I was saying we're going to hit 95. Well, we're at 95, actually a little over 95, 95.76. Today we were up 3.4%. Nice move for CAVA, actually. And I do believe that we might continue this move. So we're going to hit all-time highs, probably. We'll see how we mount this resistance level. It didn't break today. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart. Yeah, it actually went a little bit over and then it got rejected right on that area, and it finished the day right on this level line that I put. That's interesting. Anyways, let's get away from this. CAVA was pretty generous with me when we were on these areas right here, and somewhere around here as well. I took some calls or puts. I don't remember, but I was playing CAVA quite often. A lot of people like this name. It has a lot of I guess buzz, and people like trading this. Again, I don't get married to any names. I could care less, but I do believe that there is more momentum. MACD and TSI are starting to diverge, which is a good thing, but we'll see how we behave in the next few days, and if this starts getting a little bit extended, and then there might be an opportunity on the downside. For now, just keep an eye on the 95 resistance level, 95.7 resistance level, and we'll see. We'll see the behavior of this. Keep an eye on the RSI as well. We might get a little oversold by the end of the week, but I think there is momentum. This I like CAVA, but I personally not gonna trade it anytime soon, but I still like it. This move, again, I said 2 days ago we're gonna hit 95. We're on 95 already. That's what I have for CAVA. And now let's move on to this other name that I keep saying I don't want to talk about, but now I'm talking about it again. So let's do Dell. Look at this move. A couple of days ago, I mentioned Dell as well. We were on the MACD and the TSI, right on these areas. And what I was saying is you want to see momentum. I think we were here. And I like to see these kind of setups. You're very low under the zero line. You were oversold on the RSI. And now we are seeing this move towards this resistance level at 104 or 104.88, let's say 105. And you want to break this, maybe retest, and then continue. Once you hit, if it doesn't get rejected, you're gonna hit the 200 EMA. We'll see what's the behavior here, and see if there's gonna be a continuation towards a higher level, which I don't have here yet. Let's put a level. Actually, you can actually move this back here on this area. Okay, so let's see if we mount 105 and the 200 EMA and then move towards 115. We might get to that area if we don't get rejected before earnings, and we'll see. I have no idea how they are going to perform or not, but I like what I'm seeing down here. I like what I'm seeing on this move. A little bit of red would be nice to see as well, so this doesn't look completely unhealthy, but we'll see. There is volume. I think there is a little bit of interest on Dell. But again, earnings are coming. It could be, at least for the way I like to trade, it's a little bit risky. For me, I like to trade stocks that are already past news and catalyst and that sort of stuff, so I get to see more of a consistent move. But I know some traders in MX were taking calls on Dell, and their calls were great. But I wanted to see a little bit more of this. Now what I want to see is breaking this 105, 104.8 resistance level and see how we behave on the 200 EMA. That's what I have for Dell. Let's move on to this name, which has been to Google. So we had news based on the Department of Justice. What they were saying, I believe, is that they wanted to I guess, split Alphabet or cut the monopoly that they have. News that nobody wants to hear, especially if you are a Google investor or an Alphabet investor. However, what I'm like to see here, let's get rid of this because this is old, is that you're breaking this little pattern right here. You couldn't break, or you couldn't go over resistance at 164, and now you're between this resistance level and the 200 EMA. The MACD and the TSI aren't looking very good. They're looking like they're curling the opposite way, meaning or against the signal lines. The RSI is also about to cross the signal line. I do believe that we might see a little bit more of red going on, and we'll see what the Department of Justice does and how bad this news can actually affect Google in the next few days. But if it's a nothing burger, I think there is going to be opportunity to the upside. I would just let it play and see how far low we can go. Right now we're at 162, and we'll see if we are going to continue going towards a lower level. We have a little gap right here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to this level, which would be pretty bad for Google because you at that point you're at under 150. Anyways, we'll see what happens. I think there's gonna be an opportunity to the upside in Google, to be honest. These are news, and I don't think that with the type of power that Google has, especially with government agencies and whatnot, I think that eventually they're gonna leave them alone. So it's either gonna bounce in this level just or break it and go down towards this area 150 or whatnot. But I think if that is the case, there's gonna be a lot of opportunity to buy these lower prices in Google. So that's what I'm seeing now, more than what is going down today. It went down 2.35%. And if it continues going down, I think the opportunity is just going to be greater. For now, what I think I'm going to do with Google is just leave it alone and just keep an eye on it. But I like the fact that it's just, it's just going down. We'll see what we get in the next few days. Next, I have HIMS, and this continues to go down. I have no idea how good or bad they did on their earnings. Obviously, it seems like they didn't do too good. Now they are on this resistance support level. I'm sorry, at 1540, and also kind of bouncing a few trading days back from the 200 EMA. We'll see what happens here. Looks like it still has more room to continue going down, and if that is the case, there might be some opportunity. We might bounce on the 200 EMA after we break this support level. I think there might be opportunity here. This is oversold. Like last time we were oversold on the daily chart on the RSI. You had a very nice, decent move to the upside. Well, earnings were also here, but you had a nice move to the upside. We'll see what we get. The same here. You were oversold, and then eventually you just came back. Anyways, I do think that HIMS still has a lot of potential. I would just let it bleed for a little bit and see what happens. But there is definitely gonna be an opportunity for a bounce back on HIMS. Next, I wanna mention Hood, and with Hood, I actually got a position in Hood, and it's one of those positions that I got, I believe, on Monday or last week. I think on Monday, I don't remember. And yeah, on Monday over here. So I didn't sell today. I thought this was going to continue going up. So I did sell AMD. I sold Amazon, got back on Amazon, and then I didn't sell Hood. I do believe, or I thought, it was gonna continue going up. Now I don't want to sound like I think that this is just gonna start going down, but one thing that I don't like is a lack of momentum that I saw today. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart, and you had this move to the upside. Things were looking good, and then you completely failed and went down to this area right here. We still went up 1.3%. excuse me, I just still don't like the lack, that the fact that it didn't have enough momentum. I like seeing red when you're moving up, but this whole move looks a little bit weak. I really hope to be wrong, because I do have options. They are up only 3%, so whatever, right? I have a 3% cushion, but that means actually absolutely nothing. If you trade stock options, you know that. So we'll see if we actually reach this 19.2 resistance level and we fill the gap within a week or so. My options are expiring on September 20. So I do have some time. I want to see how they behave between tomorrow and Friday, and probably by Monday I will, depending on what I see, I will make a decision. Now, if tomorrow we have a really bad day, let's say 2% down or something, obviously, if the lack of momentum continues, at that point I will probably have a loss and sell, but we'll see. I do believe that two things: the lack of momentum is not good. I like the setup, but I don't like what I'm seeing here. This should be more aggressive on the way up, but we'll see. I might be just panicking as per usual and trying to make excuses in my head to sell as soon as possible, which most of the times works for me. It saves me a lot of headaches. Well, we'll see what we have in Hood by the end of the week. Our resistance level is 1920. Next, I want to go with, where are you? With Microsoft. So I did buy some options on Microsoft today, some call options. They expire on September 13th. My strike price is 430. And wow, look at this candle at the end. Let's take a look. I don't like this chart. Let's go to a 3-minute. And I think I bought somewhere in this area. Yeah, I was buying. So I did buy Amazon at around 940, and I bought Microsoft around the same time period. And obviously I'm green now, and I like this the setup that Microsoft have. We're mounting 415, which I think I mentioned yesterday or the day before, that Microsoft had momentum to go to 415, and I wanted to see breaking this level and then get into it. So that's what I did. The options weren't that expensive considering there is Microsoft. Now we need to see a nice mount on this area, 415, and our next resistance level would be the 36 or 35 SMA, which is gonna hit around 425 or so. So I like the move. I like the MACD, the RSI. And again, I'm probably gonna keep these options a little bit longer until sometime next week, maybe end of next week. And you know, unless something doesn't look right in my eyes, and then I get out. But anyways, I like Microsoft. I got a quick position on Microsoft, and hopefully pays out. Next, I have Netflix. So Netflix is also looking great. I mentioned Netflix, I believe, on Monday. We were down here under 35 SMA, and now we are mounting as of yesterday the 35 SMA. We went over yesterday the resistance level that we have here, 639, and then we are right on the next resistance level that I also mentioned yesterday at 663 and some change. I really like this. I like the MACD and the TSI. And again, what I was mentioning in the last two videos was the similarities that you saw on this move here. Now you're seeing something very similar here. I think this was a little more aggressive, but look at this. Everything is just green and clean. I don't have any positions on this. I wish I did. But if you actually got some, I'm very happy for you. There is definitely people making money on these moves right now, and I think there could be a continuation. Would be nice to see maybe a little bit of a rejection here and then another move, and kind of like a retest this area right here and then continue going towards 690. That would be optimal. It's just a matter of patience, but the way also that Netflix moves, it tends to have these dramatic pushes, and we are right in the middle of one of them. So it would be nice to see a little bit of choppiness here, not much, and then move towards 690. Very nice setup that we have here on Netflix. Now let's move on to NVDL. So NVDL is a 2x ETF, a 2x long NVIDIA ETF. So this is what I bought. So when I was talking about AMD earlier, I was saying that I was out of AMD. Well, I did jump on NVDL. When did I do that? I did it right by the end of the trading session. So I did buy on this area right here, around 12:30 or so, and then you know, we had this nice move. We'll see what happens tomorrow. These options are expiring on the 23rd, so I will probably sell them by no later than beginning of next week or middle of next week at the latest. And my strike price is 58. We're currently at 58.38. So I bought it when it was at 57 something. So now we're over 58. I do believe that we are going to see a continuation. NVIDIA is also looking pretty good. And my decision of buying this was based on this chart, which is very similar to NVDL. The reason why I got NVDL is because it's a little bit cheaper than NVIDIA when you buy options. So, and it moves a little more dramatically than NVIDIA does. But the problem is when it actually dumps, it's going to dump even harder. So that's a risk that you have in this kind of ETFs. Well, anyways, we are over the 35 SMA. I don't like this candle, but we'll see. We'll see how things continue here. Again, I do have a few more days with this option. I'm not planning to keep it very long since the expiration is on the 23rd. I have 2 more weeks with them, but I will probably sell by next Wednesday at the latest. Anyways, again, I like the setup on the MACD, the TSI, and what I'm seeing on the chart. We'll see what kind of moves we get between today and Friday, but this is what I got after selling AMD. Now let's go down and take a look at our friends in Tesla. So I think a couple of days ago, I mentioned we might end up being on a long or very wide spread of a range between 230 and 165. Maybe a little bit extra. Maybe we can say 177, 175. But yesterday we had a pretty nice day. We were up 5.2%, and then today we are down 3.10%. Now, if you're a Tesla investor and you've been following Tesla forever, you know that this is completely normal for Tesla. So it's definitely a psychological roller coaster, and if you're a Tesla investor, you definitely have some sort of PTSD from trading. I'm not joking. This stock would drive you nuts. So yesterday looked like, oh well, if we mount that 35 SMA or if we mount that 200 AMA, now we can continue moving up. Well, today you had the opposite reaction. Now you're under resistance at 107 or 106. 206. And you're under these indicators as well. MACD and TSI are starting to look a little bit ugly. Yesterday they were looking nice, but now they're looking ugly. So this is, I think, what is going to happen with Tesla. Tesla is going to be choppy, difficult to trade. I'm not going to touch it until we get closer to the to either earnings or the event, which is the robotaxi event. I do believe it's on the 10th, but don't quote me on that. But anyways, that's what we have for Tesla. I do believe that it's going to be choppy, and don't be surprised and don't get too excited, if you go all the way up to 230 and then you get rejected, or if you go all the way down to 270, 275, 277, or 160, and then you bounce back up. You know, this is how Tesla trades. Is again, for traders that play this name, it's just psychological warfare. That's the way I see it. So just be careful with Tesla. I was just mentioning Tesla because yesterday we had a great day. Now we had a kind of like a bad day, and also what I was saying about, you know, the areas that you have to keep an eye on. And I think I should just keep it 165 to 230. That's basically the area that I'm looking at. And I know it sounds like, you know, pretty crazy to have this kind of a spread, but at the same time, I also know that I'm looking at a very volatile, very wild behavior stock. That's what I have for Tesla. And now let's move on to XLF. And this is what I was talking about when I mentioned Bank of America. I really like this. I like the setup right here on the MACD and the TSI. I wish it was lower or much more under the zero line, but I'm okay with this move anyways. It looks pretty consistent. It's not all green. It has ups and downs. I do believe that being over this resistance level at 42.55 is actually pretty nice. Let's take a look at how much the options are, and let's go with September 27th options. They are not too bad. Like the 44, we're at 43 right now. So if you buy 44.5, which is absolutely, no, 44.5, that's too rich. I would go with 44. I think that these options can pay pretty well. 2.65, and the strike is at 44. I think it is a good entry. And actually, you have the 43 ones, but we'll see that tomorrow. They're 1.18. Anyways, I like this name. I like what I'm seeing here. I think there is a continuation towards 44, just like what we saw on Bank of America. I do believe that we are on this sector, we're going to see a nice move to the upside. So you have a lot of options. You have XLF, you have JP Morgan, you have Bank of America, you have Citi, you have Wells Fargo, and so many others that maybe you can play. And if you don't want to pay a high amount of money for your contracts, I would buy contracts that are at the end of September or maybe beginning or mid-October. So you have some time, and you know your contracts won't decay as much. Anyways, that's all what I have for today. It was a little bit of a long video, but that's what I came up with. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.